Hello and welcome to Final Show Films. Before you enjoy the following production, there's just a few things I'd like to get out of the way first. Starting off, I'd like to thank all of our Patreon supporters, especially our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic, Cat, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. If you'd like to support us, you can do so on our Patreon, patreon.com/fsfilms, as well as by following me on Twitter @JohnnyBates, following and subscribing to us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Senstaku, on YouTube, youtube.com/Senstaku, and on any of our podcast feeds, links to which you can find on my Twitter account. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I hope you have a good time. Bye. And we're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Star Wars Afterlight Skies, where the GM has brain power left. No, I'm fine, guys. But we're gonna start off by introducing our characters. Jeremy.
Hello, my name is Jeremy. I am playing Corey Tane, human outlaw tech, and let's roll some Destiny shit.
I think the pool's been cleared.
Yes.
Let me try.
2 light side points.
Yes, it has been cleared.
Cool. And John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Ares Artanos, the Mandalorian mercenary soldier with a kill count. And I roll also 2 light side. Haha.
John, roll me 2d20, or roll me 2d50 and add them together.
73.
There's your backlog kill count. Spencer.
I'm
I would
Spencer.
really like to see that roll a 1 or a 1 and a 1.
Yeah. I am playing Sai, the ambassador, who just finally got to do some ambassading. And here's my roll.
Ambassading.
2 light side.
All among you. Go, just go. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Oh, look. It's happening again.
The medical droid, and I got us a dark side because that's where my brain's at.
Okay.
We almost won the game. We almost won it.
So, for those unfamiliar, the Destiny pool is like a pile of points that the characters in the GM have to influence the story. Something was convenient, something was inconvenient. It oscillates back and forth. It's rolled at the beginning of the game. You can either roll 1 or 2 of light, which is good for the players, or dark, which is good for the GM, and in that it allows me to murder them. But this week, until we got to the last player, everyone rolled 2 light side points.
Yep.
Yep.
Meaning that they have a lot of light side points, and we have a very large Destiny pool. So I'd encourage you to spend them like popcorn, because that's the analogy in the book, and it's always amused me.
How do you spend? I didn't know there was a popcorn-based currency system.
If you go far enough, if you go far enough out,
like popcorn is something you eat a lot of, but it's a really weird and amusing like call out in the book.
if you go far enough out into rural America, anything can be used as currency.
Like, what are the denominations? It's like.
Also,
like
Jeremy,
this-
we live in Portland. Organic homegrown popcorn
Okay, you're
is
not wrong.
absolutely a currency.
But like, are unpopped kernels the penny, and then like unsalted popped the nickel, then salt, then butter, then caramel.
No, it's just
so
it's
you're
just
missing
value
the
by
point.
weight.
It's actually based on how many mason jars it has been through.
It's
That is what evaluates the worth.
in the Midwest. It's value by weight, so it doesn't matter what they are. It just matters how much they weigh.
Okay.
I like mine better.
Oh man.
It's objectively
Then
better.
you don't live in the Midwest.
Anyway,
For a lot of them.
And we begin the game.
With
where
the-
did we leave off, GM?
Last time on Afterlight Skies, our people. I didn't write it this week, so
People.
let's just go with people. Our protagonists
Yeah.
are
works.
individuals.
left behind the gray planet that Tekin's palace rested upon. and leaving behind a lot of probably now dying and dead folks because they did not go back for the prisoners in time. But some people managed to get out, including, I'm not going to try and pronounce it, John
Yarrick?
Yarrick. Yeah. Every week. Yarrick. Corey's mother. Her. Corey's mother, Rel. Tasha, a woman who was enslaved basically under Tunguska's supervision, and a man named Vite, who introduced himself as Vice, that Powder recognized as someone they had encountered before in a very different prison.
Yeah.
Yep.
He likes to couch
Yes.
surf through prisons.
But it's okay because we handed him off to people who could probably not defend themselves against him should he go on a murder.
I was getting to that. Tasha, the group recouped by landing at a rebel base I was familiar with, is where he head off. Tasha, who really just wanted to be somewhere where the people who had enslaved her were unlikely to find her, and seemed fine with joining the rebellion for that reason. And Vice, who had actually asked to be dropped off a few planets over, but was overruled and shoved out the door with a little note to the rebellion that I found a guy with a lightsaber, best thing ever, right? Sorry.
Outpost was never.
I mean,
again.
yeah.
Okay.
You were never heard
I'm
from
over
again.
That happened. Rel promised Corey that they needed to talk about some things, and Corey wanted answers, so stayed behind. And Yarrick stayed behind because, well, I don't think Ares would have voted for him to be let off at some point.
No. He and I have a very specific destination.
Okay, cool. But speaking of destinations, metaphorical, literal, personal, and planetary, that is where we pick up. All of you have, after some time and mess, assembled along with your crewmate, Glass, who was not left on the planet. Good save there, Powder.
Thank you.
Rainbow and Rel, and not Yarrick, who has been assigned to the blood room and told to stay there. Locked.
We did that one just for you, John.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, he has a timeout room.
Additionally, I forgot to mention that Rerun had
Left.
sworn a whole bunch and left.
Yeah, as I understood, he left specifically to like get his crew together and go after Changusta. So
Yeah, he had already called the crew of the Moonstrike
Right.
over whatever it is.
Yeah. Cool.
And then he'd left with them to specifically pursue Tunguska because the rest of the party seemed to have other things they needed to do first, and he wanted to do that immediately. So delegate.
And Powder thought very hard about joining him, and then realized there are squishy people on this ship.
That is where we've left off. The group of you are assembled around the common room or the cockpit or wherever you have decided to have this conversation.
So I need to go make a call to my sister and find out where the family is right now, because there is a ceremonial gladiatorial arena with my name and Yarrick's name in it right now that really needs to be filled.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone else have anything pressing? I feel like the Changuska thing was the last thing that was like time sensitive, and that kind of got taken off our plate. So if we don't have anything that's
Yeah, we do. We need to get back to
Crossroads.
Crossroads. Thank you.
What for?
I've got shit I need to give to the Shaper because I don't want to necessarily work for him anymore,
Oh, that's
and
right.
this will clear that debt.
That's fine.
Do we need to
We can make a
plan-
stop there on the way.
Do we need to plan on dealing with anyone? Or do you think this will be a very simple, here's your shit, job well done, slap on the
50-50?
ass, you're on your way?
50-50, because, I mean, I don't know how many of you have been in great amounts of debt to crime lords before,
Not
or
me.
owned by them,
I don't even know what those words mean.
but generally, if you've proven valuable enough that you can actually work off your debt, they don't necessarily want you to be able to go. And if you do go, well, you might know things. Now, I don't really know anything about him because he's really smart about that. But crime lords are not generally known for being reasonable about that kind of thing. He's we'll see. It's 50-50 shot that he'll be like, okay, there. Actually, I would say 40-40-20. 40% chance of okay, there you go. 40% chance of this isn't really enough because of some bullshit excuse, and 20% of shit, this is enough. I guess I'll have to kill you now.
So, question then. Should we deal with Yarrick first so that we don't have him stowing about on the ship in case we have to kill your boss?
Technically, for the record, he's not just my boss. Wait a minute. Who owns and runs this ship anymore?
I mean,
Powder kind of looks around.
the actual person that owns it left and sort of left it ambiguous. So we're gonna
I
say
believe this is my ship
the
now.
person who can fly it.
Sai pulls out the truncheon that was given to him by the former owner and goes, I kind of took this as a literal passing of the baton of ownership. Is that not what that was?
Probably
I'm
not.
pretty certain there are legal, actual paperwork things that did not happen.
Unless
you remember signing anything when he handed you that baton.
No, but I doubt those paperwork at this point ever go.
Powder has
I
seniority.
put credits into this ship.
Powder has seniority.
I mean, we all did, didn't we?
No, Powder was here before any of us.
No, the putting credits into it.
Yes,
I know I did.
But Powder put much money into this ship as well.
Powder, you know how much money everyone spent on the ship. Corey, you can also estimate Powder has definitely spent anyone who's still
Powder probably spent more than all the rest of us combined.
Okay, Powder, take the wheel.
Okay. And Powder will go
this will be fun.
to the
Uh,
I mean, if you need to, I can fly it.
and I will put in the
And I cede your leadership. Your ownership.
Astrogation difficulty of where are you going?
Crossroads.
Well, astrogation difficulty of 3. I'm gonna flip a dark side point, but you will also get a boost die for you.
Sweet.
Yeah, as regards to priority of which one, my concern is that the information I have, the value of it may be a time-sensitive thing. So if we delay it too long, the value might go down and give him an excuse. Or anything might give him an excuse to say, nope.
3 advantage.
You've got it in there.
And then it'd be piloting space.
Piloting space. Well, actually, piloting planetary to get into space, and then piloting space to.
I cannot wait for Powder to crash the ship.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for it as well because I only have 1 rank.
All
right.
I'm gonna flip a dark side point again.
There are no dark side points for you to flip.
No, because I flipped it back.
Oh, you did?
So
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely is going to.
guess what? Flipping it back again. So there's still 6 and 1.
If Powder crashes, that definitely forces the story in terms of we're not leaving the planet this session.
Okay.
What is my difficulty on that?
Unless we crash in orbit, and then it's all right. Droid game, guys.
As a side note, if you do TPK at this point, you're not coming back at this level. You're probably going to take a fair amount of level hit just because new characters are hard to create in the system.
Yes. What is my
We
difficulty?
die right now, and then we spend the rest of the stream going, okay, guys, we're making new characters. This is how you make characters.
I feel
in
like
Edge of the Empire.
like when you die
Roll the dice.
end game, that's the end of the game.
What is my difficulty and stuff for the planetary roll?
Difficulty of. I'm gonna say 3 because you're definitely not at a spaceport, but I don't remember where you sat down.
Okay.
Cool.
And then do I get that boost or no?
You do not get that boost.
Okay. So I wanted to make sure. There we go.
So you guys all hear in the middle of this conversation, the engines were up. You all sort of look around.
Do I automatically hear them going wrong?
It takes a few seconds. It actually does lift off. The engines themselves are not broken. Powder just isn't great with the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So yeah, you lift up and you start feeling yourself approaching, like, you know, you're gonna zip to Atmo. Thunk, thunk, thunk.
All right. I
Powder
head up
move.
to
And
the.
I
I head
want
up to the cockpit.
everyone to roll me. Let's go with coordination, difficulty of 2. As you were not necessarily expecting this.
3 successes, 2 advantage.
And definitely are not strapped in.
1 advantage.
So, I love that.
One advantage.
I start walking towards the cockpit as everyone.
So
falls over.
everyone other than Ares lands on their butt. Corey, you bang your head a bit and take 1 strain with
Okay.
2 threats. Everyone else, you're fine just on the floor as Ares starts walking towards the cockpit.
I mean, I was right there, so
All
Yeah.
right. I mean,
You're not
I assume
sure.
we were all there because we were all
Yeah.
talking.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, Powder, move aside. I will get us off.
I do not have the hands for this.
I will,
Corey throws her hands up in the air and walks out of the cockpit,
I will get us off the planet.
saying a large amount of profanity and probably Huddies.
Powder will get up and follow Corey.
So what's the difficulty? Is it still difficulty 3 or is it increased now?
Gonna be increased to 4 for this particular check because it's been made before.
All right.
And I'm going to be flipping. Yes, I still have 1. I'm going to be flipping that dark side point again.
Okay.
Not that it will necessarily matter to Ares, but
Hang on. I mean, 4 difficulty is not nothing. Let me look at my talents real quick.
you have 7 light sides if you want to use one of them.
Yep. Are there any setback dice?
There are no additional setback dice, just the
Okay.
difficulty increase of
I
repeating
can.
with.
Yeah, I can remove setback dice. I can't remove difficulty from my
Yeah.
piloting checks. Which is
Setbacks
kind of
would be
a
more like debris or something that's around you. Trees.
Piloting planetary. Yeah, I'm gonna spin the light side.
While this is all happening, Sai makes his way to Yarick's room.
We'll
Corey,
get that in a
or-
moment because if
Yeah,
this
Powder
roll
found
fails,
Corey out, so.
that will impact other things.
Blam. 4
Yeah.
successes and a threat.
You just are like, okay. You had that upside down. Let me flip a few of these buttons into the right place. And with a little bit more of a scrape, because powder did move you guys a fair ways, and now there's trees that are very challenging to avoid. You slide back up through the rainbow skittle of this planet's atmosphere.
And checking the astrogation to see if there's actually a like coordinates plugged in.
There's coordinates. They
All right.
look right to you. You could try and redo them if you'd like, but
Can I just do like a verification check?
yeah, astrogation difficulty of 1. The number of successes you get will give you more information.
All right.
See if I screwed that up too.
1 success, 2 threat.
It's definitely accurate coordinates plotted accurately. If the coordinates are wrong inputs, that's harder to know. But
All right.
it looks right to you.
I will put us into hyperspace then.
Okay. Piloting space.
What difficulty?
Difficulty 2.
Div 2. 2 successes and an advantage.
Yep. And you are shooting off. Sigh, as you feel that sort of shudder of speed that, like, even with gravity is always evident when you make that jump into hyperspace. You arrive at Yarrick's room.
I enter it and shut the door behind me.
You guys can enter easily enough. That's something your ship has had for a long time now. Yarrick is sort of sitting in one corner of the room, staring at a wall. Oh, hi.
You have a plan for what we talked about? Your gladiatorial debut is going to be happening soon.
I think so. As long as you can get the other things, if I fail, that's fine.
What other things?
It's pretty obvious to you he's specifically referencing the information he gave you last episode and asked you to pass along.
Oh, okay. So not actually retrieving something, but the giving of something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing the thing.
Gotcha. I understand that, but I'd like for you to make it out alive.
I've got a plan. Are we stopping anywhere first, or he headed directly to his... Spencer, are you muted?
Yep, Spencer got muted at some point.
You're muted.
Oh, there it goes. I don't know why it muted. Okay, sorry. We're going to Crossroads, I believe, and then to wherever this arena is.
Doesn't sound like a name I know, but that's gonna have to be good enough. Okay.
Well, if you can... I've been there a couple of times now. If you can make some friends and get off there pretty easily, I think. Or become a stowaway on another ship.
I appreciate you jeopardizing your position for me.
I ain't doing shit. I've made it pretty clear I'm not going to help you. I just want to make sure that it's happening. The information you contain for the rebellion is far more important than either of our lives.
Yep. Well, Ares likes his honor, but he's got specific ideas about what that means that are old-fashioned, like a lot of his crew. So just keep an eye out, even if you're not helping me. He has a tendency to overreach, I guess.
And I've noticed that the problem is the man has extremely large fucking arms, and that reach is quite impressive. So, just either give me a sign or let me know beforehand so I know to expect his
I'll do what
anger
I
if you do get away.
I will do what I can.
Thanks. And then I leave the room and immediately go to my room and shut the door.
Okay. Powder.
Yes.
You were headed somewhere. I just totally missed where.
Yeah, Powder follows Corey out of the cockpit.
Okay.
And as soon as they're like out of earshot, Powder will say, while I have the seniority on the ship, my owning of it is a technicality. You will take far better care of this ship than I ever could.
So Corey had been making her way down towards the engine room, just rattling off a string of pissed off profanity the whole time. She stops there when after Powder says that. Cool. And then continues on.
Cool. And then Powder will go to the kitchen and make Corey a pot of coffee.
Yeah. Powder, as you turn around, you nearly bump into Rel, who seems to also be following Corey.
That's fine. Powder will ask Rel, is there anything you require? I will be making coffee for Corey.
I'm all right. Just give her a bit of time.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then Powder will go to the kitchen and make a pot of coffee.
All right. So that brings us back to Ares. Just saying it.
How long is the trip from here to Crossroads?
Gonna be maybe 2 or 3 days.
Okay. I'm going to first I'm gonna go check out all of my gear, make sure it's all intact and where it needs to be, all the stuff that was left left behind.
Anything that you didn't lose out in the wilderness is there.
Yeah.
And
I regained all the stuff that I lost out in the wilderness, so that's good.
You got a bowcaster out of the deal.
I did get a bowcaster out of the deal. Just sort of hang the bowcaster up just because I'm going to try to see if I can't find because there's a name on that. See if I can't try to find who owns that later, and get it back to them. But after checking out my gear, I want to go. Where is the security? Like, so is the security of the ship handled from the cockpit? Like security measures of the ship?
The security measures, I think, are handled in multiple places.
Yeah, I feel like there have been different panels.
That's how Corey has it set up.
Yeah. The general setup, which was done by Corey and Rerun and somewhat by Lux before she left, allows you to access most of the systems if you're authorized from the cockpit, from the engineering rooms, probably also from Rerun's room if you've got a droid hand.
No, I don't.
It's just a matter of whether you're authorized.
I'm going to see if I can just confirm the level of security on the room that Yarek's in from the cockpit. Because
Only difficulty to computers.
Flat roll.
With the flat roll, like
It's locked.
The exact details of how the security measures are implemented elude you, but this is a fairly standard thing that you guys do. It is the door is locked from the inside and the outside unless you have clearance as one of the members of the group.
Right. So it seems like he's not going to be able to open the door on his own.
He is not going to be able to. I mean, Yorick Strong, he's not, in your experience, rip a metal door off its hinges strong. And there's nothing you can think of that he could successfully use to batter it. But you guys would get a notice if something like that happened.
And I'm basically just going to, at that point, I'm going to set up, I think there's a lawn chair on the ship. I'm going to set up
a lawn chair on the ship.
I'm going to go find that lawn chair, and I'm going to set it up in that sort of corridor where his room is attached to, sort of like at the other end of it, so that I can see it and out into the rest of the ship.
Sure.
And basically, if I'm not needed in the cockpit or somewhere else, I'm going to be sitting there with my vibro axe, just waiting.
Casually murderous Ares. Got it.
Yep.
So yeah, you could sit on the sofa that's like 5 feet away, or you can set up your lawn chair in front of the blood room.
Yeah, no, setting up the lawn chair. It's a little bit. Yeah, that way I'm not taking up the sofa, and
there is more space on that sofa that there are people on. Sure.
Yeah.
You have a lawn chair.
It also has a very particular look to it, with Ares in his like in his armor, just sort of sitting in the lawn chair with a vibro axe, just occasionally.
You're allowed to make that stereotype reference. You're from there.
So.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ares is defending his stuff.
Yeah, I used to live in that neck of the woods. I know what that's like.
I still do.
Nice.
I mean, in fairness, there is once you get out of Portland proper, Oregon is very much on that end.
You know, I lost this dude and my arm once. I'm not doing it again.
No. And Corey, you head to the engineering bay?
Yep. And not the engineering bay, the engine room specifically.
Okay.
Because based on what just happened, there's probably some stuff that needs to be tweaked, and like nothing's broken, she's sure, but there could be some maintenance that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it's an excuse. So she walks in. She's not even thinking about anything else at the moment. So she walks in, shuts the door, locks the door, and spends probably about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
This is her cool down point.
All right.
And then once she's done with that, she unlocks the door, steps out, and she actually wants to go find Ares.
You probably pass by the cockpit first, which she's not at, but after that, it's pretty easy to spot the Mandalorian sitting on a lawn chair with a gun.
In full armor, not with a gun, with a vibro axe, but still.
Sorry. Yeah, he definitely makes an impression, but yeah.
I like the idea that, since I've never been clear exactly where the up is from bottom floor to top floor. Oh wait, there's the stairs. Okay. I like the idea that he comes out, walks like directly within view of Ares if she would just turn her head left.
Yeah, basically.
Goes and goes finds him.
Go into the cockpit. Don't see him. Turn around. You see him immediately across from the
draw
cockpit.
a little shape on the stairs because all of us have had some trouble with that.
Yeah, it took. The stairs look just slightly weird.
They definitely do. Yes.
Hey,
Yep.
so thanks for helping get my thanks for helping get my mom safely out.
You're welcome.
We're even now
Okay.
because we weren't before.
Okay.
Right. Good talk. You're so relatable. And she walks off.
Okay. All right.
As Corey passes the kitchen, Powder just
That's right.
holds out the pot of coffee.
Yeah, that's right. Corey didn't see how I almost died saving your mom.
Oh, we could have had a scene about that, but yep.
We could have. We could have, but that's not where Ares' mind's at.
No. Talking. It's one character's strong suit, and that makes it challenging for anyone to interact.
And it just got better.
Yes, it did. All right. So, who next?
Was Corey's mom trying to talk to her?
Right, yes. Corey, are you headed back to the engineering bay?
Yeah, switch to somebody else for a minute.
Okay, sure. Kat, what's Powder up to?
Well, once giving Corey the pot of coffee, Powder will probably go back to the med bay and again try and like look through the stuff that came out of their head.
Okay. Looking for anything specific?
Looking for anything that like they haven't noticed before. Like people's faces that they might remember, anything.
I mean, sure. Roll me. This is not really computers. This is more investigative.
I mean, perception maybe?
Sure, perception will work. Make me a perception difficulty of 3 as you're trying to look through something that you've looked through a lot of times and you don't remember because those are your memories on the thing right now.
Right. Flat roll.
There are faces. There are definitely lots of faces, and they're faces that, well, you don't intellectually remember. You understand that these are your memories. Problem is, you have categorical evidence the vast majority of these faces belong to dead people because you definitely killed them.
Yeah. Powder's basically trying to see if there's like anybody like in the background of the memories, like, you know, like off in the distance, and it's just not working out for him right now.
Yeah, not right now. Just that red text.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like
your mind,
like what planet they were on or anything at this point. It's not working.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with a flat roll.
Yep.
I do need to find Powder, by the way.
Well, Powder's in the med bay.
Yeah.
Rewatching themselves kill.
I've suddenly recalled that there are things I need to do.
Right, yes.
So after a while of watching Yarrick's room, I'll head down to the med bay. Powder, I've got a couple of, and it's like sort of pulling like off bits of armor. Could you help me with this? Just like indicating these like bleeding gashes that I've still got because I've got 2 critical injuries still.
As soon as Ares gets Powder's attention, they will immediately like snap into medic mode.
They are both difficulty 2 critical injuries.
Okay. Awesome. So let me difficulty 2, and I will use medkit stuff so I get my boost die. Let me make sure of a thing. Yeah, okay. And then seriously, single advantage.
So, not healed.
But if you have strain, you can get rid of a strain.
Yeah. So that is not healed, and I believe you can only attempt that once a week.
Yeah, once on each. Is it once on each critical injury or once in general?
I think it's once in
It's
general.
one per critical injury, but once a critical injury has been
Oh.
attempted, I know there's a period before you can try it again.
Yeah, the
So
period.
can I go for the, because he had 2, right? So can I make the roll again for the other one?
Yeah.
There we go. We at least got you 1 with 2 successes.
Okay. That one's
Hey,
fine.
My fearsome wound has been healed.
Okay.
Yay.
I
Yeah,
still have compromise, which fortunately doesn't have any actual effects other than increasing my critical roll table right now.
Critical roll damage.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's for some reason just the number 9.
All right. 1 critical
It's you
injury
right in the
healed.
feels.
1 critical injury healed.
Yep.
Sweet.
Thank you, Powder.
Of course.
Let that be a lesson to me to never try to take on a tower full of armed guards while wearing nothing but a pair of pants. Then again,
Yes.
I succeeded, so I guess it's not really a thing I shouldn't try.
Yes.
And that's Powder's like, yes. Good talk. I'm gonna go back to.
Is there anything else that you need?
Other than the other one, no, I'm pretty fit and healthy. You patched me up when we were at the temple, so
Powder,
I've been injured again since then.
you have looked at this information a lot, and it's specifically information that's inherent to you. Another pair of eyes might help.
That is true. Powder will ask, yeah. Will you do me a favor?
Sure.
And they'll motion to the ever-playing memory stream.
The gore loop.
Uh-huh. I like that, the gore loop. That's got to be like a Guar cover band or something, right?
I will.
I am trying to place these memories on a planet or anywhere, really. But I am having trouble seeing as the memories are no longer in my head.
I can take a look. I will take a look.
Yep. Ares, are you specifically looking for where these things are?
Yeah, I'm ignoring the people in them unless they seem relevant and more looking at the surroundings and seeing if there's anything
All right.
that stands out.
You can make me either perception or astrogation your call.
Astrogation is actually better. What difficulty?
Difficulty of 3, as these are very old.
Mm-hmm. 1 success and a threat.
With 1 success, most of it, I mean, a dark alleyway could be a lot of places. You've definitely seen an alley that looks like this. That doesn't mean you know where this is.
I've seen many a dark alley in my day.
Yeah. Especially like, oh, lots of blood in this dark alley. That helps not at all.
That's familiar. I know this place. Been here before.
But there is one seen. It's specifically one of the places where Powder's perspective seems to be carrying an unconscious person and not necessarily paying attention, but passing buildings as this red text comes across, disagreeing, saying that kidnapping and drugging people isn't okay, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That you're like, I know that structure. You've probably never actually seen it in person, but it's distinctly something that's in the capital of Mandalore.
I'll sort of, if there's a visible way to pause the footage, I'll pause it and then indicate that building. Well, this is on Mandalore.
Really?
Yep. That I've never been inside it, but I recognize that building. It's in the capital city.
Yeah.
Mandalore, on Mandalore.
And Aries,
very
given
repetitive
general
names.
predisposition towards your family's cultural education, you'd know that building's been there since like Mandalore was fighting with the Jedi way back.
This is old Mandalore as well, not like the new ones. This is from like Mandalorian Wars Mandalore.
Yes, I am apparently very old.
Oh no, the building is that old. It's not necessarily the footage is that old, although maybe it's still standing as far as I know.
This is helpful. Thank you.
You apparently sliced someone up on Mandalore and got away with it too. Congratulations, as they patting her on the shoulder. Not them on the shoulder.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, I guess no one really looks at a medical droid for murder charges, but that probably helped. It would be odd.
Apparently, at one point, I was a combat droid.
Well, isn't that fancy?
Aries, combat is kind of an exaggeration. This is more of assassination, vivisection turned dissection stuff.
Yeah. Isn't that fancy?
All right.
Yep, if that's all you needed. I will head
Yes,
back.
that is very helpful. Thank you.
I will head back to my porch.
Yeah. So, you definitely noticed. Actually, you went back to your room and locked the door. What are you doing?
Just poring over that information I was given. Because I'm assuming I have no way to transmit it via the ship, so I'm basically just...
You also know that information like this, it would be really risky. Like, you might, if you were in a situation with no other options, you might want to, but the Empire knowing that the Rebellion knows this kind of things is itself really risky, and the risk of interception or someone else to also get this could be a big deal.
So the information that Yarick gave me was, like, it was a lot, but all of it was kind of vague, because I got the sense Yarick really didn't quite understand.
Yeah, Yarick had memorized, but didn't necessarily know what it meant.
Can now that I have time to sit down with it, can I try to do that?
Absolutely. Do you have any ranks in education?
Yeah, so I am trained in got core worlds, education. Yeah, education I do. Sorry, I was looking just at knowledge, but yeah, education I've got one rank.
In education, I want you to make this education. You'd have a shot at something you had ranks in otherwise, but education makes the most sense. I want you to roll me a difficulty 3 education with a boost die because you're familiar with where this information comes from in a pretty intimate manner.
Okay, and I burned a light side point because we have so many. Wow, 2 failures.
Aside from that, they're either shipping records or something pretending to be shipping records. You might want. This is up to how much you trust them, but the rest of your crew might know you don't.
Can I at least? Is there any way to tell? Maybe not what the information is, but like who is like who the shipping records are to or for? Like, is that information in there?
Unfortunately, that is sort of encoded. There's
Okay.
a lot of. You definitely know that they're all coming from this serial number and going to this serial number. And you can infer based on the conversation you had with Yarick, or they're coming from the first serial number to a second serial number to a third serial number. Like it's some sort of transfer to 3 places. You can infer from what Yarick said that the second point in that is Tekin.
Okay.
So someone is sending Tekin something.
Yeah.
And then going to something else, which again, from talking to Yarick, is probably something related to the Empire or someone in the Empire, or the Empire as a unit. But usually they have subdivisions. Unfortunately, and you also would be able to determine, because this information is not encoded, that it's all fairly old, all at least 4 or 5 years back at the earliest, at the newest.
Okay. Yeah, what kind of sucks is 2 people on the ship I would think could help with this. One of them he is currently waiting on to see how a certain event plays out, and another he is very, very mad at right now. So I think he would just sit on it, which kind of sucks, but I really wish I hadn't failed.
What he'd do. That's fine. Okay. Speaking of stewing, Corey, are we good to?
Yeah.
Right. You eventually arrive back at the room, potentially a little calmer.
Yes.
Rel is just in there. Seems like she's been waiting for you.
We say room. And we mean workspace.
You mean workspace, yes.
Have a room.
That was your choice. You picked that as your room.
It's absolutely my choice. Unless Rel found a room of like an actual room. But he's a tech too, probably not.
Right now, we're talking about the engineering bay.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, she walks in. God, I hate organics. Oh, hey.
Hello. Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay.
People are useless. The end.
Okay.
So welcome to Powder's ship.
I thought Powder gave it to you.
No, Powder said no, not really. And ooh, that's a thing. I mean,
you might want to clarify that with them.
Yeah, no. I don't think so. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I really wasn't listening very hard. I was a little annoyed because like I offered to take control of the ship to pilot the ship like 5 times and nobody even said no. So fuck all of them.
That sounds
but good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Much better than I was.
Good.
How are you?
Good. I'm all right. It's got one more thing. So we're heading to. I don't know if you were over there for that. It's a little distracted, but you were heading to Crossroads because I have something. If you remember, Tonk, I have to deliver to my boss, and then either he won't be my boss anymore, or he'll do that thing that usually happens. In which case, maybe Ares might kill him. I'm not sure. Um, it's hard to tell with this group. We'll find out. But yeah, and then after that, I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Okay. You
Um,
wanted to ask me something.
yeah, yes, yeah. I mean, lots, but it's time for. So she stops. She goes over. She locks the workplace door. Actually, she probably locked it at first, so she unlocks it and then relocks it again just to make sure the lock's secure. And she walks. So as she's digging out the box. So do we have any history of like I don't remember exactly what the word is. Let's just say Jediism in the family.
Sorry, that's Erin. She will sort of. I. Well, you're not old enough to, and frankly, with where we were, it probably wouldn't have happened anyway. You probably wouldn't have known anyone anyway. Think anyone we knew. So, back in my day, when I was young, the Jedi were a lot more of a respected force. That they were part of the government, part of what is now the Empire. And if a child manifested such abilities or was destined to be a Jedi, they were brought from their home to Coruscant, to the capital, to the Jedi Temple. So if we had any Jedi that I was related to, I don't remember any, but they would have left at a very young age.
Okay. I'm taking out the box because
Is there something you need to tell me?
no. But so okay, this is a really long story, and there's some bad news in the middle of it.
Okay.
I've been kind of put off, but the gist of it is for reasons and relating to the Doug that rerun had been trying to track down. We end up on Corellia.
Okay.
And as it just so happened, we ran, and I'm sorry, what was her name? I'm sure I have it in my notes.
Your great aunt was
somewhere.
Theresa.
Yeah. As fate would have it, we ended up running into Theresa. And well, okay, it's a little bit of a long story, but because of something that I think might involve this set of armor, that Mandalorian armor that Ares was looking for, well, somebody killed her.
Okay.
So us having found this, I did a quick, oh look, possible involvement with crime scene or something, and potential threat to other family members. So I did as what I could to sort of clean it up. Just remove any trace of the family from there. And in the process, I found this. Conk, conk.
Do you open the box or just show her
Yes,
box?
sorry. That's conk, conk.
Okay.
The second conch was opening the box.
She'll look at it. That is not what I was expecting you to.
Right?
I knew Theresa was my father's sister, my aunt, your great aunt. She was a wise woman. She lived on. I think she lived in one of the temple cities. We only saw her on occasion. She always seemed to know more about us than we did about her, which I suppose makes sense. I think. Other than that, she was. I know she had a family of her own.
Mm-hmm.
I think she sort of adopted.
The Twi'lek?
There was a Twi'lek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just probably about my age, a little younger woman. Did you meet her?
No, no, no. No, there were just pictures and a Twi'lek thing, artifact thing, which is all we got. All that I've got all that.
I know that she was connected to the Templars. I think it was Corvella, one of those cities, one of the ones that was important before they discovered ore on the planet, before or Corellia was Corellia. She still kept up with some of those traditions, but I certainly didn't know about anything like this.
Well, surprise.
And you said someone killed her over unrelated.
It's a really long story that I don't know the details on. I'm just moderately sure that Ares got her killed in some way by asking questions and having her ask around on things. And I was going to have a very severe talk with Ares about it, but then he helped get you safe. And so now I feel like I don't really have to, like, there were plans that involved like sucking oxygen out of his room and a whole thing. I don't have to do it anymore. It's fine. But yeah, I don't know how things are with the rest of anybody else. I didn't really start poking around after that, especially if we had a crime lord assassins following us around. I figured that was probably not the best idea. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, that was really the
I'm sorry I can't give you more answers.
No, it's fine. So now, so you were back there. Does that mean that we don't have to worry about Voda anymore?
I would suspect by this point he has washed his hands of us, though worry about always, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, in a relative
if
fashion.
he found either of us again, I'm sure he would be quite incensed.
I
but
mean,
he
you just shoot him.
decided
Yeah.
that my use was not. It's nothing you need to worry about.
Okay, well, then I guess depending on what happens on frickin' Crossroads, have to figure out what to do from there.
Corey, you said you owed this person a lot of money, right?
Uh-huh.
Perhaps it isn't setting the best example to ask this, but if this is something that could even be presented as squaring your debt away, unless he promises you this every time,
No.
it might be worth wondering about it, wondering if it's worth. I won't tell you what decision to make, but just think about what you could be handing him at worst. And you know this person far better than I.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can look deeper into it, I suppose. I don't know. I'll think about it.
All right. I'm going to go see if I can secure an actual room because
Yeah. There's the.
I want
I
to
know
give
that-
you your privacy. You're not little anymore.
Okay. Cool. No, and I know that like the workbench is not the most comfortable thing. It's fine.
If you need me, I shouldn't be too hard to find.
Cool. Okay.
All right, folks, I just have to share this. During this conversation in chat, there was the revelation that that absurd amount of damage that Ares does. He does a lot more.
Yep. The wording specifically of the ability is that auto fire can trigger multiple times, blah blah blah. If the attack hits, the attacker can trigger auto fire, and each instance of auto fire successful hits the target again. I've been treating it as hits the target for base damage again. The actual wording is each of these counts as an additional hit from the weapon, and each hit deals base damage plus the number of uncancelled successes on the check. So rather than doing 13 damage plus 10 plus 10, it would be 13 damage plus 13 plus 13. I kill people harder than I thought I did.
And people wonder why I threw
Wow.
two droidicas in your face when we face combat. Why I always ask if you're going to be there, because, well, there are other combat-capable characters on this team.
I built a
There
specialist.
is definitely balancing for nonsense to be done. All right. Now it's going to take about 2 days to get to Crossroads. Is anyone doing anything in that time?
Powder will absolutely make sure that Rel has a room.
Yeah.
And and has everything that she needs. Shows her where all of the things in the kitchen are.
I'm
You
going
know.
to spend most of my time sitting in my spot with my lawn chair, singing traditional Mandalorian battle hymns, just loud enough so that Yark can hear them through the door.
Roll me a perception. I almost said send, but that's accurate too.
Sure.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's accurate because Sen is also the name you use on the internet.
It's true.
Yeah.
What difficulty?
Difficulty 2.
Yep. 1 advantage. No success, no failure.
All right. With 1 advantage, yeah, you're singing Mandalorian battle hymns.
Yep.
Enthusiastically and intimidatingly at the door.
Just sort of in general. But
The rest of you can hear it because he's singing through a bolt door. So anytime you kind of wander out that way, or
Yep.
I mean, Corey, I think your room is like, no, your room is not directly below. That would be the other side.
Yep.
Anytime anyone wanders up to the cockpit, there's this slow droning of Mandalorian chant.
It's very like Viking war song esque.
Yeah.
Anytime Sai is just like randomly walking around, Sai corrects Ares' pitch.
It's
And
ignored.
doesn't sing along because he obviously doesn't know the words, but he just throws out like like he throws out the pitch that it should be at, and then just like walks away.
He's like, you're doing it wrong.
You don't know.
Passive aggressive sigh.
Yeah. Okay. Corey, did you want to check those tapes or?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Yep. All right. So, you have already decoded this information. You just made the choice not to look at it.
Yes. I'd looked at some
So-
of the spreadsheet with the identities of people. A couple things. First of all, is it possible?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how metadata is tagged in the Star Wars universe or revision history on documents. But is it possible to alter the information?
Yes. What would be most challenging would be to do so convincingly. Like the document editing is not necessarily a concern, but if you put in this person came from a Imperial Academy 420 and there isn't an Imperial Academy 420, you look like you were either smoking weed or
Yes.
lying.
I like the first option better.
Nice.
So like as long as you are
Like as long as I
bluffing,
have access to something that can give me actual places they might be. Granted, a lot of these are secret facilities that would not be on standard like HoloNet.
yeah. So yeah, looking through the file in a little more detail because I did just throw a random like start of a spreadsheet in the descriptions. It seems like there's in the evaluation there's some sort of score, source of presumably where this person was at the time of this spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of test that's either marked with a minus sign or a plus sign, and the places that are marked with a plus sign are in red, have other things that then a section of notes and next steps. Some of the next steps include transfer to this facility or refer to this group. Specifically, for example, the ones with a plus sign in the test column all have refer to Inquisitors section and then what is presumably a region number.
Okay. So what Corey's going to do, and this is all the information. It doesn't say what these things are, like what it's all in reference to. Like I know it's a project of some kind, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
This doesn't.
It
have
seems like each of these things are. There is a list of names. They seem to all be names of women. From the physical bio section, they all seem to be human women, and of a sort of narrow age band of about 8 to 13 at the time of this thing, which you have already confirmed is fairly old. And it seems like each column each row, excuse me, is an evaluation of that person's candidacy for whatever this program is.
Right. And the people who do not have the pluses, what happened to them as a rule?
Most of them have either refer to review board, refer to disciplinary committee, not applicable candidate. A few of them, exclusively people that do not have plus signs, have applicable candidate refer to contacts.
Okay. So what I would like to do because what I would like to do is take basically not literally not like do it randomly, but essentially scramble those up.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming that the people who tested positive for what it is are the people that the Shaper is going to go after.
Okay.
And I assume since this is all very shady and dark and experimentation and things like that, apparently, that the ones who didn't test positive I would say it's at least 65% odds, probably higher, that they're not around to worry about someone coming after them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would like to do is essentially copy paste, like move all of the positives into negatives with appropriate things on it, and all the negatives into positives.
Let me skullduggery.
Or actually, what's the ratio of positives to negatives?
1 in 100, maybe.
So obviously not exactly like that. Like move a few, keep the ratio the same.
All right. Yeah. Make me a skullduggery check. It does seem like whatever they were looking for in this initial testing was not who was positive and who was negative. It's just incidentally, this person tested positive. We're gonna throw them to the wolves.
Skullduggery, and I will difficulty.
Difficulty 3.
Okay. I will spend my left side. One threat.
Yeah. All right. With 1 threat, fortunately, it is fairly easy to do this because the next steps and the notes for someone that has positive are always just refer to this person.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need any other details. Fudging the details for those that did test positive is slightly more challenging because you kind of have to guess because that information wasn't there. But yeah.
I mean, but can I take, like, since it's spreadsheet, I take the section that says action, refer to this facility or refer to this
Yep.
Inquisitor. By the way, do I know what Inquisitor is?
Roll me a knowledge. I'm gonna go with knowledge underworld.
Okay.
Difficulty
Difficulty?
of 3, as this is 3 with a setback die for this not really being the wheelhouse you have specific experience with.
Success and 2 advantages.
Yes, you know what an inquisitor is, and you can make very basic inferences. The inquisitors are...
They're the people with the fidget lightsabers.
You don't necessarily know that, but that is kind of a disturbing version. Inquisitors are the people that are there to keep the Empire safe from the dangers of the heretical Jedi. They're essentially hunters of Force sensitives. They sort of took over where the Jedi left off. As far as you know, it's very broad information, with the collection of Force sensitive children. It's just that now those kids are never seen again, instead of being part of a arguably morally dubious but fairly transparent system of training them to use their powers.
Okay. So yeah. Try and fix that up as well as possible. So it hits a middle ground between get my freedom and give the Shaper, at the very least, a really hard time tracking this shit down. And yeah, try to, make sure that it doesn't show edited at this coordinate on this date.
Yep.
By this person. Here, boss, here's the thing you wanted. Edited by Corey Tane.
By this person is fine, because I'm accessing what's her fucking names.
Yeah, you are technically working on her hard drive.
Yeah. Headless McGee.
Tekin.
Tekin.
Yeah.
I'm working on Tekin's hard drive, so it'll be edited by
general. Yeah.
Tekin, the person who didn't want to listen to good advice.
That's the general appearance of it. I fleshed out the image a little more.
No one tells me to leave.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Because as long as anybody who
are you,
as long as the data across the row is all accurate, short of going to those places, it's impossible to really tell that it's been, that it's been fucked with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I spend my time doing that as we go to Crossroads.
All right. Yeah. Are you looking at the supplementary files or just the information that has names?
I will look at the supplementary files for sure.
Okay. So the supplementary files are potentially a little more confusing. So I'm going to make you roll a knowledge education, just difficulty of 2.
All of the computer skill that I have, and I never get to roll it.
You got to roll it several times to get this open, but it's open, and I'm not giving you the opportunity to fail and delete all of it.
Yeah, fair. Difficulty?
Sorry. Difficulty 2.
Okay. Three successes and an advantage.
Okay. So, yeah, a lot of the terminology is technical, but technical works for you. Um, so the supplementary documents seem to just be more specifics of what is being looked for in a candidate. One of the things is essentially the test that's being scored in the spreadsheet, which seems to be extended written, practical, and multiple choice test on everything from military strategy to improvisation, stuff like that.
Okay.
The specifications, what they're essentially looking for is someone young enough to be molded with certain predispositions, preferably already sympathetic to the Empire, or at least already fairly extreme, with extensive talent, especially in areas like mechanics and warfare. Someone who doesn't necessarily have pre-existing loyalties or connections. And
They're
yeah,
looking for recruits, basically.
essentially, that seems to be the
Highly specialized recruits.
Yep. For some specific program.
Corey vaguely considers switching everything back to the way it was, because if the Shaper wants to fuck with the Empire, I mean, assuming that
Yeah.
he's getting this information and because he wants to either sell it to somebody or poach.
Yeah.
She's okay with both of those.
It is notable that the details you fudged were not of who was accepted to the program. The details you
Yeah.
fudged were just of who's force sensitive.
That's true. That is true.
So you probably did fudge one or two of the acceptances, but primarily you fudged force sensitivity records.
Okay. Corey no longer has any doubts about handing this information over the Shaper. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Okay. Sure.
Are you fixing the thing you broke?
No.
Okay.
They didn't break
That's
anything.
where we're gonna go to break.
And we're back.
Okay, welcome back to Afterlight Skies, where we're going to pick up with Ares.
So
An amount of time that's applicable to you
Yes.
has passed. You're not at crossroads yet.
yes, having while sitting here, sitting outside the blood room, Ares suddenly remembers the events that happened that caused the blood room to become the blood room, and is going to, because of this, step through this door into this hallway and go check the room right next to the blood room, because he recalls that there's a vent connecting those two rooms.
There is. It's about big enough to throw a grenade through.
Yep. And he just wants to go in there and check and see if there's any funny business happening in that room.
I mean, I don't think anyone's been assigned to that room, and I doubt that anyone would have taken it voluntarily with the war songs going on. There's some evidence that someone was here recently. You know that Teresa, the woman you rescued and then dropped off at Tasha, sorry. Teresa was Tasha, who you dropped off at the rebellion base, slept there on the way here. But aside from, make me a perception check, difficulty 1.
Yeah, I just want to see if anything has been done that, like, maybe Yarek's trying to get into this room from the blood room. 2 successes.
So the vent that connects is screwed back on. It is slightly dented from Corey taking it off very quickly during the fight. But it seems like it's been secured since then. Like, the sheets aren't made. There's nothing to indicate that your Corey captured whatever Yarek is to Ares at this point. Has tried to escape through here.
Soon to be victim. Okay, just wanted to like doing the. We often see this from the perspective of the person hiding, but doing the monster movie, monsters stepping into the room, looking around, checking a few things, and leaving back out scene, and then going back to sit in the lawn chair again. That's all I wanted to do, was just check that room.
And the invisible bird that isn't actually there goes, "Oh, I thought he saw me." No.
So, that's all I was doing before we get to Crossroads.
All right. Corey, you wanted to do something?
So yeah, gonna, like, at some point after however long it takes her to do what she's done, I imagine like a day or so. She's gonna. I think I had said this before, and if I didn't, I apologize. The plan was to make a backup copy of the actual information.
Yeah,
Before, yeah.
I think you've got that already because
Yes.
you copied the hard drive before you did anything.
Yes, I did. So she's gonna come out with the actual unedited information hard drive. The USB flash drive that's like this big.
It's a floppy disk. What is so hard about that? Star Wars operates on floppy disks.
It does.
I will fight you.
No, it absolutely
Yes,
does.
they do. They absolutely do.
R2D2
But I've
has a
always
flash.
liked the idea that they had the equivalent of flash drives, but because it's still 1970s style tech, it's like it's actually a server.
I mean, they probably also have server rack bricks. But
it's just a server with plug and play because it's the Empire, thus Microsoft.
It's just a gonk droid with no feet, basically.
Everyone actually operates on the same OS. That's canon.
Because
and it's
George
Windows.
Lucas. Anyway.
Because slow tech. Yeah.
He comes out with it. It's like, stops, looks as if she's about to say something to Ares. Never mind. Can you use your walk to find
What's that you got there?
Information? Just do your thing.
Cool.
Goes to find Powder and Sai, who I think might actually do something with the information other than, hey, I can potentially capture more people like this for profit.
Okay. So, yeah, you were told never mind, Ares. Do you actually leave it alone?
Yeah.
Okay. Sai's room, I believe, is locked.
Okay.
That's not a problem for Corey. Potter's in the med bay looking up what they can about Mandalore.
There will be a knock.
Yes.
You got a moment?
Yeah, sure. And yes, that goes over.
And she opens the door for him. Unlocks the door and opens it.
Corey, that's not okay.
I waited until you said it was okay.
Okay, I'll know that for your rooms.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Try and unlock my rooms. So
Okay.
I've got something that you might want.
Okay. What is it?
Well, we were on. I'm just gonna call it Chunguska World.
Floating castle.
Chunguska World.
Sure.
Come here for our discount funnel cakes.
They're made by slave labor, which makes them cheap.
That's why they're discounted.
I managed to copy all of Headless Wonders. I swear this has to be a
Tekin.
Corey thing because I don't fail to remember anybody's name when it's anybody else.
Are you talking about Tekin?
Tekin, yes. I copied Tekin's hard drive.
Okay, what'd you find?
This has a bunch of information on young women who were part of a project. What was it? I know there was a name to it.
Project Titania.
Titania, thank you. That's why I keep wanting to call Tegan Titania. That's why.
Yeah.
Also, my mind keeps getting locked up in Project Pegasus and Project Unicorn because other things. But Project Titania, and they were looking for people with particular sets of skills to recruit into the Empire. And there's also information about people who were force sensitive, who were sent to certain places. I think you might want to do something with this.
Okay. Can I take it and cross-reference it with my information that I just received?
Absolutely can. Computers, are you doing this entirely from memory, or are you taking out the data you have and trying to do the subtlety? It would be easier with the physical data, but you can also do it from memory.
I'm gonna do it physically and bring Corey in on it.
Yeah.
All right.
And in the interests of full disclosure, there is a copy of this information with significant details altered that is being delivered to the Shaper.
Okay.
Because someone needs to be free. And by that someone, I mean me.
Well, that's fair. Shut and lock my door as you come in.
Yes. Close, lock.
Computers difficulty. If you're doing it physically, 2. Sorry.
So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull up my information, kind of put them next to each other in a, it's like simple way, just pages. And I'm going to get out of the driver's seat and motion for Corey to sit down. And I'm going to say, so this is the information I got from Changuska World. And I think you might be more skilled at comparing the two than I would.
I can try, yeah.
So this information is also prefaced with a for full disclosure moment. Two, actually. The first one was something I've been wanting to talk to you about, and I wasn't, because I thought it was going to be pointless. But I need you to understand that I am not okay with you slapping me.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I barely remember why I did.
Because I interrupted you. Something everyone on the ship does all the fucking time to me.
I mean, they do it all the time to everybody.
Right.
I barely ever get anybody to even acknowledge that I spoke.
What are you talking about? I have made attempts on numerous occasions to try to start conversations with you, and you walk away.
I mean, we're talking about a really high stress time over the past couple, 3 weeks. And
yes, we're all there.
In retrospect, had I had the opportunity to do that differently, I probably would not have slapped you.
Okay.
If you note that I didn't say sorry, that's intentional. Because at the time it seemed like the right thing to do. But I would have done it differently.
Okay.
Corey, you're making me a difficulty to computers, bro.
I love how much Ares' attitude has infected the rest of the crew.
I'm convinced it is a curse of the Nasari. It is something that was imbued into the Nasari when an angry, not quite Jedi was stomping around the place and has just infected the world.
We have become
so
cynical and passive aggressive.
I very much remember the slap. I don't remember the specifics around
I was trying to tell Corey to look at a different camera.
Yeah, no. I don't remember. There was that had nothing to do with why it happened. There was something very specific.
From my perspective as the GM, what it seemed like, and this is obviously characters' interpretations, I don't know. It seemed like it was Corey was in the middle of trying something and very confident in what she was doing as her expertise. And Sai was saying, do it a different way. Do it a different way right now.
Maybe. I don't
have footage that we can review, but
yeah, we can go to the tapes some other time.
We'll go to the tapes later.
But
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got 2 successes.
Yeah. In terms of that data, yeah, it is this data Sai has. You don't remember when he got it, though you guys were not in the same place the entire time you were on
Changuska World.
How hard is that?
Changuska World.
Easier than Changuska World to say.
Yeah. You're
But
not sure because it wasn't the entire time you weren't there the entire time. You just don't know where he got this. But yeah, the shipping chart lines up. The numbers seem to line, the different rows on the shipping chart seem to line up with some of those that were directed to review board and most to all of those that were directed to as a possible candidate. With 2 advantages, you can infer that essentially the successful candidates were taken from where they were and shipped to a specific place, probably for training / induction / something.
Okay.
It looks like the Empire is kidnapping or
So, Sai, I
strongly
want you to
recruiting.
roll me. It's not really a knowledge socialite, so let's just make this a. Let's just make this a knowledge. Any of the worlds that you happen to have.
Okay.
So, Outer Rim, Underworld, Core Worlds,
Okay.
if you have any.
Yeah, I've got core and outer. They're the same.
All right, whichever you would prefer, difficulty of 3 with a setback die, because you are not the main one at the computer.
One success with 4 threat.
Okay. You actually, I know how to make this work. You recognize vaguely one of the names. It is not someone who was referred to the next stage. It seems to have been someone who was deemed not a potential candidate in the note section, indicating family ties, general unruliness. But the last name, Ren, definitely is something you're associating with Ares, given the research you've done. Now, if you want to bring Ares in on that, that is up to you, because Ares.
So someone of some relation to Ares.
That's your suspicion.
Okay. Okay. Well, it looks like the Empire's strongly recruiting Force sensitives and others, which is not a good thing.
Correct.
And we now have documentation of it, and at least a vague idea of how it's happening. Granted, we just put a stop to one of the middlemen, but obviously, I'd be surprised if that was the only one. So,
Yeah, pretty sure they're not. That's one thing about a bureaucracy.
okay. Well, at least we now know what this information is. Why would the Shaper want it? Do you think the Shaper is one of these middlemen, a mover? Basically a non-slave version of what we just encountered, maybe more of an actual, like, kind of air quotes legitimate version.
That doesn't make sense. Why would he want information on people that are already part of?
Maybe they're given different, each mover's given a different list, and the Shaper wants to know all of it. So that wouldn't surprise me, given what I've learned about the Shaper through you. Seems to value knowledge over most things. I mean, do you think the Shaper's on the good guy's side and wants to stop it? Because if so, I need to give him my rebellion speech.
No,
because
don't fucking do that.
that was a joke, Corey.
Oh my god. Don't oh. No.
However, if I were to, I would not apologize for it.
Good for you. No, I think that the Shaper values resources. These people are a valuable, limited resource.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's looking to make recruits as well.
I'm thinking that ultimately, maybe. I think one way or another, he's in it for himself. No, I don't think he's necessarily working for the Empire. I've never seen any indication of that. It's not to say it's impossible. I'm just saying it would seem odd at this point. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this list and this information is incredibly valuable.
I think so too.
Whether he sells this information back to the Empire, whether he sells it makes whatever pitch he wants, because I'm sure he can swing it. Whether he sells it to the rebellion, whether he sells it to Hut,
Yeah.
or whether he uses the list as a roadmap to finding his own people. I don't know. I think of all of those possibilities, working directly with the Empire makes the least amount of sense because it's the least financially.
Well, that and if the Empire found out he had it, what would stop him from just showing up and taking it?
Or killing him because he has this information.
Right.
I don't think so. Ultimately, I feel like him having it is bad for the Empire, because whatever he does, it's probably going to be something the Empire doesn't like. However, on the off chance that he has bad intentions towards these people, and by off chance I mean 50-50, it's not that's why his version has all of the locations and what happened to a lot of the people switched around.
Cool. I agree.
It's going to hinder him.
You mind if I make a copy of the original for myself?
That's yours.
Oh,
that copy is yours. I made a copy of it back when we were I think I don't know. I think it was on when I was on Chunguska World. Yes, I'm doing it on purpose at this point. I think it was when I was on Chunguska World, but I'm not sure because I'm kind of still walking wounded a little bit. And so my brain isn't quite functioning quite right.
Well, I am pretty certain, and side points towards the Rin name and says that this individual holds some familiar relation to Ares, or maybe a clan relation. I'm not honestly quite sure how their nomenclature works. But from what little research I've done on Mandalorians, that name is recognizable. Do you think it's worth to bring Ares in, or maybe wait until we deal with the Shaper, see how that goes, and then bring Ares in?
I mean,
if he goes in looking for information himself, do not want that to jeopardize the possibility of you getting your freedom.
So, to be honest, once the information, once I deliver my thing to, once I deliver my thing to the Shaper and get free, I think I'm taking my mama. I'm going somewhere.
No, that makes.
So
I would be surprised if you didn't.
Whatever you guys do with that information is up to you. If you want me to help with anything, it needs to happen before we hit Crossroads.
Well, I think.
But I think you've got everything I can help you with.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't think at this point Ares would be the only one who could add.
If you bring him on board, that's great. I think you might want to wait until he gets his murder boner softened a little.
Yes, I so eloquently agree.
But yeah. Okay. So that's on you whether you bring him in. I think if he. All right. With Ares, he's motivated if he has a personal stake in it. Otherwise, he literally couldn't give less of a shit.
Well, currently now,
if you want his help, give him a personal stake.
Currently, right now, we're going to be dealing with Crossroads first, which means his personal stake in getting to what he truly wants to do, which is to murder Yorick, means Crossroads goes smoothly so he can get there sooner. So currently, right now, he is working for your best interest, at least as I can understand. So I vote we don't pull him in until post.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's on you guys. You guys figure out what you're gonna do there. Cool.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll I think I have a few people in mind that could definitely make use of this information. I appreciate it.
Yep.
So are you going to be telling the other full organic on the ship about this? Bye.
Oh, about wait, say that again. About the what we just talked about.
Yes. Are you going to get Ares?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not quite yet. I think was the idea.
All right. What's happening next?
That's
Oh.
all I had to do before.
Powder, you were looking up basic details on Mandalore. Make me a computer's difficulty 2.
His successes.
All right. With 2 successes. So what you have access to in hyperspace is essentially the cached version of Star Wars the not Star Wars the Encyclopedia, that's a book. But you know how encyclopedias work? One of those that exists within the universe of Star Wars.
Yeah, totally.
Mandalore is a fairly well-known planet. It's home to the Mandalorians, who are a proud battle culture with guns and nobility and honor codes. They've kind of, at some point or another, fought basically every faction that exists. They've fought the Hutts, they've fought the Empire, they've fought the Republic, they've fought the Separatists, they fought the Jedha, they fought the Sith. They've also fought everything that doesn't exist anymore, and they've fought each other extensively. I will fight you, your and whatever else, Mandalorians.
I will fight you, your cow, and whatever else, Mandalore.
Oh, that
Can
needs
I
to be their entry in the Edge of the Empire books from now on.
It's also a T-shirt.
I
think
really do want, how World of Darkness has the stereotypes one group of people have about another group of
Yep.
people?
Yeah.
I want
Yes.
those for the Star Wars universe.
Yes. Can I find maps or pictures of
Maps of the big cities, generally
Yeah.
speaking, yeah.
yeah, trying to find a picture of the building that Ares.
Yeah, I'll say with 2 successes, you're able to find it. It's, the records wouldn't necessarily tell you what it's used for these days. But like Ares said, it's an old building that's been around a long time and is on Mandalore, and there's a picture of it.
Okay.
It's not like a named structure, it's not a monument, it's just
Old building.
Yeah.
It's an old building, but
It's-
not in the American sense of the word. It's an old building like Europe has.
It's a shopping mall dated 3,000 years old.
Sounds about right. 'Cause at
None
this
of the non-Americans are here to laugh at me, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah, because at this point,
Oopsie
Powder
mess.
is just well, I have this one lead.
Yeah.
And it's this building.
Mhm.
So I should probably at some point go to this planet. Don't know what to look for once I get there, but maybe something will jump out at me.
If something jumps out at you on Mandalore, you better hope you have another Mandalorian next to you. Because it might not work out.
There is that. But yeah.
Mandalore's mostly fighting the Empire off. Well, Mandalore is complicated right now, but it's not exactly like you will get jumped if you wander around
Oh, no.
violent.
No, it's not. But if you get jumped.
That's fair.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So cool. Powder now has a picture of the building and a vague idea maybe of where it
The
is.
crossroads
Yes.
is
Yes. We are good to go to Crossroads.
I get into the cockpit and pull us into Crossroads
am
if it's
giving-
there.
yeah. I am giving you 2 seconds. 1 second. We're at crossroads.
Sold Mandalorian.
Is Crossroads actually there?
That was a very last minute thing. In my defense, most of the time someone goes, "Oh wait, I did."
Yeah.
Um,
By the way, before we get to I'm kidding.
it's fine, but don't tease me about it. Yeah. Aries, you pull back into Crossroads, and I assume you guys start disembarking from the ship.
I go back to my lawn chair. Let me know if you guys need me.
I mean,
Sorry,
we might.
Aries,
gonna
things-
try and not die to the Shaper.
Because possible murder.
Combat.
I mean, are you certain it's going to go into, like, murder now?
I mean,
Or is
I
it going to
think
be like
it's
murder
about
later?
Remember how I said 40, 40, 20?
I don't...
This is 40, 40, 20.
Oh,
Oh, no, you
okay.
weren't there.
No, I don't. I wasn't
you
there for
there?
that conversation.
Okay. So there is a 40% chance this goes really well.
Okay.
There is a 40% chance he decides, you know what? I've decided this really isn't enough, and blah, 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 blah. In which case, I may need you to kill the Shaper. There is a 20% chance that he says, you know what? You're too valuable and you know too much. I must kill you. In which case, I'll need you to kill the Shaper. So 60% chance that you will get to kill someone.
Okay. In that case, is there any way you can rig this door to explode violently if Yarrick tries to get out of it?
I can make it damn near impossible for him to open, but please do not ask me to blow up the ship.
Okay, make it damn near impossible for him to get out. I'll go get my gun.
Okay.
I go get my gun.
Corey, are you just gonna break the door, or are you going to like actually just lock it very securely?
I'm going to super magna seal the door.
Okay.
And
Mechanics difficulty 2. You've done
Okay.
this before many times, so a
Yeah.
boost die.
as I hit the communication, like, sorry about this, but you're not allowed to get out. Let's see, boost die, diff 2, mechanics, like all the successes.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
6
works.
successes and 3 advantages.
That'll be fine.
Can I use those advantages to remove the 1 strain I have?
Sure. You feel good about this.
Wonderful. Oh, goddamn. Okay, I was joking before when I said one more thing before we get to, but
Fine.
can Powder potentially try to fix the 2 critical injuries I have and I'm walking
Powder, make
Yes.
me 2 rolls to deal with critical injuries. What difficulty, Corey?
It says on the injury what difficulty they are.
1 and 2.
Okay, so
Alright.
1 at 1 and 1 at 2.
All right.
You have all your equipment and stuff.
Well,
Are you
fucking
fucking
on the
kidding?
one at 2,
The 2 diff one is staying.
but the 1 diff 1, you're good.
Okay.
My fear is that my boost die did nothing. Both times.
The
Sometimes
boost
having a
die
medical
did
kit means a lot. Sometimes having a medical kit isn't very helpful for, especially.
I know. I just think it's funny that it's in like both times because I think no, actually all 4 times. I
Yeah,
failed.
no, every
I don't think
time,
it helped with
every time the
Aries
boost
either.
die
I
has done nothing.
apologize. I did not mean to.
Well, you get rid of the
That's
difficulty
probably
one.
a good idea because crits, even if they don't have an ongoing effect, stack.
They do.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
a lot easier to
Right.
die.
And it doesn't. It was the one that is remaining was only, well, the first one was like you go last on the next initiative, and this other one that stayed is until end of encounter.
Yeah.
But I still do have yes.
All right.
Yeah,
I've
it
got
is
my
a
gun.
lot easier to die when you've got 2 criticals already.
I've put the axe away. I've got the gun. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Both
Are
Yeah, you come out.
Aries
Yeah,
and Corey going?
turns
Is
around.
anyone
Yep, he's
coming
not
with-
getting out.
Good. All right.
All right, Aries and Corey are headed off to see the
Yep.
Shaper. Is anyone coming with them?
Anybody who wants to come is welcome.
I mean, do you want me to do any talking on your behalf, or do you want to handle that yourself?
I mean, it probably, if things go bad, I wouldn't mind having somebody there who can do the fancy word stuff. I don't know if you've noticed, but that's not my specialty.
Don't mind
I'll give
either.
my thanks.
Okay. Also, if it does go bad, it'd be nice if we had more people who could shoot people.
Okay, I'll go get my things and come along.
Awesome.
Powder will look at Corey. Are we leaving your mother on the ship?
For the time being, yeah. I'd rather not have her in the vicinity of people who own people.
I completely understand.
And you guys will
And-
notice. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Sorry, and Powder will ask Glass and Rainbow to just keep an eye on Rel, make sure she's okay.
Of course. And Rainbow will. I would prefer to keep an eye on the pancakes, but okay.
I love Rainbow so much.
While we're
And then Powder will join as well because squishy people.
while we're getting together, you guys will notice that there are 2 on the left shoulder of Ares' armor. There are 2 basically like droideka stamps added in amongst the other various tally marks that are on it
Love it.
that are new.
Do you have anywhere on those images for assists?
Yeah,
Like when someone helps you get the kill?
yeah. And underneath
One
one of
says
the
K, one says D, one says
Yeah.
A.
underneath one of the droidekas is a little asterisk.
Huh, interesting. Okay,
We like to
Corey.
keep tally.
The concerning part is D has 3 hash marks under it.
Where's the respawn point? All right, Corey, lead
Yeah,
the way.
and
Not in Borderlands.
We head out.
Gray
Alright.
grabs the hard drive.
Okay. So, you all head out to meet with the Shaper.
This is not going to go horrifically wrong at all.
It'll be fine.
Corey, you know where his base is. As a reminder, this ship, especially on the inside, has been cannibalized and reshifted. It's larger than a lot of Star Destroyers,
Mhm.
and it's sort of bulbously shaped, making the inside quite spacious. But there are parts of it that have essentially been cannibalized into private rooms. Many of the private rooms have guards from Crossroads itself. Some of them have their own guards or a mixture. The Shaper keeps a mixture of his own folks with the cowls and masks in the dark blue coloring. And of the sort of Crossroads uniformed guards, one of each at his door. You're recognized and let in to the dimly lit blue satin room for conversations.
Yep.
There's none of his usual attendants, these dull talking people inside right now. There's just him. He's sitting at his desk with those sort of eerily piercing, almost glowing blue eyes looking at the group of you as you enter.
Yo.
Hey, boss.
Welcome back, Corey. I understand you were able to find what I sent you out looking for.
Yes. Congratulations. It's a hard drive.
We'll sort of take it.
She pulls back
Huh?
based on our understanding, right?
Once I confirm the information is
Of
there,
course.
yes. And he seems to slide it into something under the table that, Corey, you have probably fiddled with and broken and fixed a few times.
Yes.
That you know is essentially a universal reader. Something shows up that is obscure to all of you, but clear from his angle or to him.
Does the color glowing off his face give me any indication of whether I should tell people to start shooting now or not? Or was it like
He's
green?
definitely reading a spreadsheet. Is that something that's gonna make you?
I don't know. I don't know whether this was something that where it's like, if it's green if it comes up green, this is fine information. If it's red, this is false information. You know what I mean?
No, all screens in Star Wars are always blue. 2, not in this case. No, it's
Okay.
just
3, don't give the DM ideas.
like he might have that if he already knew like exactly what he was gonna do, but like no, this is probably him legitimately looking over what you brought
Okay,
and
cool.
verifying it. At least given every time you've been here.
Right.
This is more than I was expecting, and well preserved. You're quite a talented group. Well,
Yep, we're good.
as we've discussed, this is plenty to clear you and your friends' debt. Of course, I always have work for talented people if there's anything you're interested in doing now that we're even. I certainly have follow-ups that I am very eager to approach, given this new information needs to be acted on quickly. And I would be willing to pay quite handsomely for them, of course.
Um,
But you're under no obligation to accept.
I mean, point of Aries, he's got some personal stuff to deal with, and I don't know about. So
We might be interested.
Yeah.
Let us get a ducks in a row. We'll be in contact with you very shortly, as I assume Corey still has the means to do that.
Yes, of course, you may dispose of those if you so choose, but financial opportunities to this extent are often quite rare, so my contact information may still be worth something to you.
Oh yeah.
At bare minimum, I am interested. So you may be hearing from us fairly quickly, I think.
Of course. I will say that some of these opportunities, of course, I work with many mercenary and for hire groups, and these opportunities do need to be acted on as quickly as possible. So the profit for you will of course, likely decrease sharply the longer you take. But
Understood, of course. This makes complete sense given the line of work.
I appreciate your business. And as always, your discretion is appreciated.
Sai then very quickly grabs Corey, turns her, and starts to okay, now is our cue to leave before more things are said. And
Which is probably good because Corey's like, hey, yeah.
Yep, and we leave. And we leave.
All right. So Corey
Wow.
can remove that debt obligation, and at this point, also the believe you have one for your mother.
Yes. That's
Both
like
of
most
those
of
are
my
cleared.
obligation that just got wiped out.
Yeah.
Once we get
And the
outside,
group obligation to the Shaper has also been cleared.
like once we get outside and kind of away from the building, I look at Corey and go, "Well, you are a free person."
Yep. That is absolutely factually true, which is weird.
That went well.
Like the weirdest thing ever.
Maybe the Shaper has some reputable honor in there, given their
No,
business.
I mean, that
nature.
was, like I said, that was 40% chance of that happening. The odds just went in our favor at this time.
So fatal.
I mean, just being free is weird.
It is.
Like, you gotta understand. I'm not entirely sure. Because I wrote down underage 4'9".
It's odd. Is that a human thing? I don't quite understand.
I'm like 20. And this is literally the first time.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, that's not true. There was a brief period in between when Voda had me and I ended up in debt with the Shaper, but I made something for you people. And it's a long story. When I say you people, I'm talking about your political affiliation.
Okay.
And then it blew up in the Empire. Anyways. Long story.
So what will you do now?
I don't know. Go
You-
somewhere, I think.
Would you like us to drop you and your mother off somewhere? Are you taking the
mean,
ship?
we've got a fair amount. I've got a fair amount of money, and you. No offense, Aries, but I want my mom on a ship with you as little as possible.
Sorry, what? I wasn't paying attention.
That's fine. So I think I'm gonna find a ride from here.
Okay.
Powder's eyes kind of spin.
I'm gonna need the coach to open up that door later.
Oh, you just open on your side. Just open it normally. It'll open.
Cool. All right.
That
That
means
will
we are
break
down
the
a
seal, so
mechanic.
it's not like you. It's not like it will open you if you close it again. It'll be super locked.
Yeah.
But
Good to know. Good to know.
yeah,
Powder's eyes do
sealed
the
in
spin thing, and then Powder just kind of looks and goes, "That means we are down our mechanics.
And
Who will take
glass.
care of the ship."
I'm sure you'll figure something out. You'll be fine. Oh shit, glass.
I assume she will be traveling with you.
I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
That's fine. I mean, if glass, eventually we'll get to some back alley doctor who can get it removed, and
with us not
you are
there,
perfectly capable of doing it, Powder.
with us not there, constantly reminding you of it.
I assume if glass is regularly in my presence, glass will remind me.
One.
You might want to tell them to do that.
I've got my mom; she'll remind me.
All right, then let's go.
My mom will remind me about my ethical homework.
Let's go get your mother then. And
Yeah.
glass.
So-
Living ethics paper.
Do all that then.
All right. So yeah, we head back to the ship.
Yep.
Head back to the ship.
Yep.
Open it up. Head on in.
I go and check and see if that door is still closed.
It is visibly closed. Like,
Ting, ting,
Yes.
ting. Still in there, Yark.
like before nothing.
Open up the door.
You get shot in the face.
That's fine. I'm wearing my armor.
He doesn't have a gun. He's also not there.
He
Well,
Though the little like intercom panel that's in that room, when you open the door, lets off a sharp beep just once throughout the entire ship.
Do I know what that means?
do I know what that means?
It sounds like someone shorted out the feedback for a second. Maybe two wires got crossed somewhere.
Is there any?
It's not a code.
Is there any visible?
A beep sound. Yeah, a few of the wires from that, now that you look, have been attached to the inside of this door.
I mean more. Is there any visible way that he got out of this room?
No holes or anything.
So we have a problem, and by we I mean everybody sitting on this ship currently, in that Yarick is not in this room.
Well, that sucks. So, here is the information to contact the Shaper. Here's the information if you ever need to get hold of me again. I'm gonna go get my mom a glass and get the fuck off this place. See ya.
Corey, I take all that information.
All right.
Well,
Well,
he couldn't have gotten far.
I don't know where he went. For the record, if you need to interrogate me, there's my answer.
Powder will look at Ares. I did ask Glass and Rainbow to make sure Rel was okay, but I did not think to make sure they did not open the door to the blood room.
can I tell? So looking at the panel where the wires had been stuck in, can I tell what that purpose of that was?
Make me a mechanics difficulty 1.
Advantage. No success, no threat, no failure.
Like, exactly no, but if you had to guess, it had something to do with the intercom beep. Like, you opened the door and there was an intercom beep. And also, the wires from the intercom are now attached to the door.
Yeah.
That seems like that was a series of events that was causal. Exactly how that happened, less clear.
I activate the intercom.
It still works.
To see if there's any reaction from the door. Like just turning it on and off.
No, the door does not
Okay.
seem to be
Wired
synced
to the intercom.
intercom.
Right, well then. There are no cameras inside this ship, so I need to start hunting down Yarick again. I'm
Right,
just gonna
Corey.
scour the ship top to bottom and then leave to try to find
Yeah.
out where he went.
You're collecting your parent.
Yep.
And you're
And Glass, like, so Glass, I was planning on leaving now that I've gotten, but
if you wouldn't mind having me.
please, you're
Okay.
awesome. Not that everybody on this ship isn't awesome, but you're extra cool.
Mm-hmm. She'll sort of give a nod. I don't have any things to get, but do you need time to collect or inform your mother?
I mean, I assume that I would have gone and
Yeah.
told her at this point already. I should probably grab some things out of my workshop, including money.
I will meet you at the door when you're ready to
Awesome. Cool.
go. All right.
Um,
Yeah. You let your mom know you're
Yeah.
leaving. She'll sort of give you a nod and head also towards the front of the ship. Ares, make me a perception as you are going through the areas. Difficulty of 2.
Okay. Fuck no.
Wow.
He is not in any of the flower pots you don't have. How did that happen?
Yeah.
With 4 advantages, though.
Is definitely
You have
not
a
in
fair
the blood room.
of confidence in Corey's ability to do things. and a fair amount of confidence in Corey's inability to lie. Meaning that it's very unlikely Yarrick was able to open that door from the inside, given Corey fucked with it.
Yeah, no, which means that he got out before Corey locked it, or got out another way that didn't include going through the door.
Either he got out before Corey locked it, or he got out with help.
Yeah. Is there any way of like searching through the computer systems of the ship to determine if there was a time when that door was opened?
It would be challenging, but you can make that check.
Corey, before you leave, could you help me with something?
Corey, are you already gone or not? This is up to you.
Yeah, fine.
And that is where we're going to end for the night.
All right.
Oh, in that case, no, she's gone because I think somebody
Okay.
else might be able to help even more.
Yeah, that was kind of my hope for the reveal. So yeah, Corey has already left the ship.
Yes.
All right.
So just super quick.
Great.
Super quick then, as Corey's leaving, I was going to use my special ability and use my 6 presence to make this roll. But Sai walks up and slaps the shit out of Corey as hard as he can with my presence as my ability modifier for my brawl attack. And then gives Corey... I just slaps Corey.
And then Rel knocks you unconscious.
And then at the end of that slap goes into a big hug and says, "Good luck. Don't get caught again," and then lets Corey leave.
Corey, I don't feel like calculating the damage, but ow.
And then Powder walks up with a cup of coffee.
Powder, if you need anything on your whole thing, you got contact.
You know, get the contact.
information.
Thank
Eric.
you. Be safe.
As you walk up, not sure how you're going to do this computers thing by yourself.
Yep.
There's a woman, and I don't think you've actually met before,
Nope.
sitting in the cockpit. And that's where we're going to leave off.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.